He acknowledges that he didn't want any of this to occur. He acknowledges that he is lamenting the loss of a friendship he once cherished. Strangely, the gaps are wider the more people compare the interviews. And rumors begin to take shape in those spaces between what he explains and what she says. He describes his reluctance at each halt as the group went from one place to another. By themselves, the details aren't dramatic. When restaurants close, friends decide where to go next. Or someone suggests a different location. His hesitancy becomes a signal in and of itself. He had no desire to stay up late. He was unwilling to change places. He was unwilling to get out of his car. He felt as though the group, or more especially her Dot, was forcing him to make decisions with each stride. This is significant because it presents the remainder of the evening as something he was forced into. Something that didn't feel natural to him from the beginning rather than as a celebration. A fresh tension is created by that subtle change in tone. Before Dawn ever arrived was Tamar attempting to set up a story. He then brings up the scene that makes viewers go crazy. The dynamic inside the car, not the destination. He claimed that by the time they arrived at Tamar's house, she wasn't sitting by herself in the back seat. She wasn't aloof. After a hard night, she wasn't half asleep. According to his account, she was sitting on Mendeecees' lap while they shared a kiss. The whole problem with the whole thing, Tamar, is that you don't get to go around and create media. Storms that involve other people across the online since earlier in the timeline. Skye described their relationship as casual, limited, and harmless, implying that she hardly knew him. However, this is an entirely other image. From someone who claims to have been in the same car, not from a stranger or a blog. He was just inches away, watching the exchange take place. Fans start analyzing intentions at this point. Why would she minimize the bond in front of the camera? If the atmosphere in the car suggested otherwise, why would she? The atmosphere in the car suggested otherwise, why would she? Present the evening as a friend's party. And since the events leading up to it were supposedly so intimate, why would she say she didn't know what happened? There is no response to any of these queries in the transcript, but their presence is more powerful than any verification. He did not, however, accuse her of any misconduct. He makes no firm claims about what took place upstairs. Rather, he concentrates on the reasons behind his decision. He refrained from going upstairs with her because, he said, he thought they desired seclusion. He felt that whatever was happening between them was now the focus of the evening rather than him. That distinction turns into a pivotal moment in the story, because when he says it and discloses that he was excluded from the storyline, which she openly constructed around him, viewers begin to wonder. Finn, just sit up there on L'Oreal's podcast and act like, oh, you recently had a friend that mistreated you. You were simply done incorrectly. If anything, it was me who questioned whether her interview was ever intended to provide clarification. Anything, or whether it was built to protect something else different? This brings us to the section of the transcript that seems more like proof than analysis. He said that after seeing them together in the car, he decided to head home. He doesn't yell. He is not overly dramatic. He just expresses his choice. He returned home. She headed upstairs. He wasn't present. He had no idea what came next, because it defies the public's preconceived notions about his involvement. That acknowledgement is what causes the internet to go forward. When she posted on social media that she had woken up hurt, he was accused, blamed, and shamed. However, he claims that he wasn't even there when any of that occurred. The instant he talks about becoming, they were waiting for me to tell them what had happened, because they knew we had been together the previous evening. I don't know what happened to the lady, I said. However, I replied, I went home, baby. That woman went upstairs. I don't know what happened. I went home. Spite's absence presents a new level of emotion. He's not merely protecting himself. He is in mourning. The way before he could even react, the story selected him as a villain. Additionally, this, inadvertently, is the point at which viewers start to see Tamar's version's flaws, since narrative involves more than simply facts. It has to do with consistency. Additionally, viewers find it more difficult to accept someone who says they don't know. What transpired with another individual establishing a detailed chronology that runs counter to her account of the evening. Next comes the specifics of the calls made at B12. He was questioned by several individuals about why she was perched on the deceased man's lap. He saw several folks witnessing the same situation. According to reports, some people were perplexed by what they were witnessing. He leaves that up in the air. He doesn't force it. He just brings it up. And the sentence's restraint gives it greater impact. The more he talks, the more the pattern shows up. He is not attempting to reveal secrets. He's attempting to defend himself from a story that, in his opinion, was intended to hurt him. At this point, viewers start to think about the unsettling idea that both of them might be speaking the truth as they perceive it. However, only one of them recognizes the entire timeline, because when he eventually expresses regret for choosing this path, when he admits that it reinforces the impression of him as messy and exposes his vulnerability, he knows how this appears. He is aware that this will be used to portray him as problematic. He still holds to the truth, though. That risk is not as important as his truth. And another online rift is caused by that vulnerability. He is accused by some of manipulating emotions. Some think Tamar was the first to alter hers. Furthermore, sizable portion of people think the truth is concealed in between their tales, entangled in situations that neither of them wants to express explicitly. However, the most